Good morning students. Today I am Pragati going to start your second part of first chapter, that is what is psychology. In this chapter we are going in previous part, in the first part we have talked about psychology, its definitions and also how it helps us in Indian career. But moving further, before we need to know what is psychology as a discipline. How do psychology work in our life? In psychology, it is something related to natural science and as in social science. What does the differences between these kind of definition, or as in social science, why it is called social science and why it is called natural science? Here you get some of the questions arise that why is psychology called natural science? Explain. 3 marks question, 4 marks question, you can get these kind of question. Or psychology is the science of discipline or a study of a discipline. Why? Explain. These kind of questions mainly asked in 3 or 4 marks type of questions, where you can answer it in some the way I am going to explain you today in this video. Okay students, let's start. Psychology as a discipline has been arised, and in this it is being considered as a natural science and as in social science. Natural science is something related to physical and biological science. That everybody know that physical means something related to our body structure, right? And biological is something related to the making of the structure. A person or an individual from conceiving till death, we've been studying all concept, all kind of behavior and everything which has been arising in an human nature from its conception till its death, and that is something related to the human behavior study also. Okay, that's why it is called a natural science in a form of physical and biological. We've been studying in this about the physical structure, its genetical behaviors, and also the way child develop from an infant or from new baby to death, till death, and an old person. How the differences arise, how do we get to know about individual's behavior, that is being studied in physical and biological science. As in science we study it with all the experiments and practical. Simultaneously in the psychology subject also we took some steps and methods through which we study the human behavior. It explains the human behavior. Second point. This point is something which is related to the individual's emotions, feelings, and also related something to feelings, and then it is collectively a behavioral nature, how an individual behaves, what his personality is all about, how the emotions will be controlled and depicted by an individual, how his behavior affect his life cycle. All that things have been studied in human behavior. The behavior is always, I'll just rub this, overt as well as covert. As I explained, overt behavior is related to outer part and covert interior. What's going inside us? How do we think and how do we react in front of people? That is something which has been studied in psychology. After that, data collected under controlled condition. In natural science, as we study psychology in a natural science form, we collect the data in a controlled condition. There are specified laboratories where we study this kind of things. We do experiments, we do practicals, we perform some questionnaires, we fill it the questionnaires from the subject, we do counseling sessions. All that has been done in a controlled condition. There is the temperature is controlled, the light, sunlight is controlled, natural lights are controlled, variables are controlled. All these things are being controlled, and these are known as controlled conditions. Now study cause and effect relationship. How cause and effect relationship, you have been studied in science also, the cause and effect relationship. That is, how do you react and what response, what reaction do you get back. That is related to cause and effect relationship, in which a kind of behavior you predict in front of the people, and then the response which you receive from the other side is something as such. It is also an hypothetical detective model. It is a kind of theory in which hypnosis or a hypothesis has been made. Hypnosis is made on a tentative statement. And hypnosis is made on a tentative statement, and that hypnosis is something related to your statement which reflects that whether this term is right or wrong. Is it true or false? For example, if we study hard, we get good marks. This is a tentative statement. On this we will do search study, or we do some of the experiments, we fill some performance, or we predict some of the practicals in labs with the help of students, and then what result do we get? On that basis we say that this statement is right or wrong. That has been done in natural science as in a cause and effect relationship. If a child doesn't study, he doesn't get mark. If his child study, he gets mark. That is something related to cause and effect relationship. Now coming towards this side, it is as a social science. Okay, psychology as in social science is working something related to our social and cultural science. Here it is written social and cultural science. What does this mean? Social and cultural science is something related to our religion, region, society, customs, norms, culture. All this is related in these terms. We've been studying the environment, the behavior, the individual groups. All these things will be studied in the social and cultural science. We've been studying about Western culture, Indian culture, European culture. Simultaneously we study their rules, norms, regulations. We study our rules and norms. What are the hypotheses, what are the things which are not being done, which should be done by the society, what are goods, what are bads. Everything is being studied in this field. So it is something related to social science. Okay, to explain the human behavior. Here we do the same as we do in this. We explain the human behavior based on social and cultural factors. Here we are in this, we are explaining the human behavior on the basis of physical and biological science. Here we are doing it on social and cultural factor. There is a difference. Okay, in natural science we are studying the human behavior basis on physical and biological. In the social one we've been studying on the basis of social and cultural factor, the human behavior. Okay, data collection is under natural condition. Note down this term, natural conditions. Natural condition is a term in which we explain a condition of an environment, of a situation. For example, you don't know that I am your psychology teacher. I join your group and talk to you as a student to observe your behaviors. When you don't know that I'm your teacher, you act like a child, like a student, as my fellow being. Whereas if you know that I am your teacher, you will react little responsible manner. You will not show all your hidden things. But as a classmate, you will act as a natural person. Your mischievous activity will be come out in front of student. Whereas if you are, I will act as a teacher in front of you on your first day, you will understand and you will react in a sensible manner, or you will react in a positive manner, or in a manner in which I don't judge you negatively. Okay, so that is something. We collect here data in a natural condition. I observe you as a child joining your class, and then I will let you know which kind of behavior you have, and then I act with you as a teacher in that manner, so that I can improve your negative points. Okay, that is something to the natural condition. Now comes to study interactions between persons. What is study interactions between persons? Here is one-to-one relationship, group relationships, family relationships, social relationships, everything in which we are performing our character, our behavior, our relationship with another person, that has been studied in the social science. Okay, so that is interaction between one-to-one person and the social cultural environment and its social cultural environment. Social cultural environment is something related with the things which are your environment, your things I have explained you. For example, an individual or a child bring and brought up in a Punjabi family. His customs, his culture, his religion will be completely different. Whereas an individual is born and brought up in another custom or another caste and religion, whether it's in Muslim, so their religions, their caste, their customs will be different. Even in Hindu, one is from Punjabi family, one from Banyan family, then their bring and brought up, their customs will be different, right? So that something is being taught in psychology, to know the difference of behavior, how the people behave in a situation, and that is unpredictable, and why it is unpredictable. Okay, that is studied as in social science, and this is something studied as a natural science. That's why it is a discipline. That's why, because we are studying it in a formulative way, in a particular manner, with some steps and some keeping the norms and ethics in mind of culture, custom, religion, biological, genetical, physical, natural science method, and on that basis we are studying it. Okay, so that is something related to psychology as a discipline. Okay, I hope you understand this point. Previously, in last video, I'll just take a revision of that also for you. I want to explain you in that something, one more thing, that we have studied about 3 or 4 terms. We have studied about the definitions and how this psychology has been working. It is very new subject for you, and I want you all to be very attentive in this subject. If your base will be clear with psychology, it's a very vast kind of subject. This is a subject which have some facts, and it is going to be very progressive subject in the coming years. and also we are going to get many kinds of career opportunities with the help of psychology subject. It is one of the subject in which we study human behavior, right? This is a factual thing in which technology as well as human science has been followed up simultaneously. Okay, this is the subject in which you get number of opportunities in different streams related to mental health, government jobs, whether you give any kind of job opportunity for any competitive exam, 10% of psychology is involved in that, whether it is UPSC, whether it is banking, whether it is UGC NET, anything you do in that you get a 10%. So it is very important subject in that field also. As we know, mental illness, stress, depression, and as such many issues, or we can say it is in like a competitive world. So psychology is going to help you in these all streams. You need to understand the subject, you need to pay attention on the videos, on the self-study mode, so that you improve yourself, you improvise your techniques. No other place but one-to-one relationship and adjustment quality, adjustment abilities will be learned and improved in the psychology, in this stream. Okay, that is something related to psychology. Your homework will be find the facts of psychology as a stream, as a subject, and as a career. You can Google these points on Google. You use phones, and nowadays I think internet is been using more as we are all are locked down. So you use it and find out for your self-interest what is psychology, how it is helpful as in subject and as in career. Okay, and that we will discuss in our next video. The career, the opportunities, and how this school has been developed of psychology. We have been studying as in school. How I say school? Because as we start study, we do ABC. So its ABCD also has been arised. The school of psychology, that will be studied in next video. So before that, I want your homework to be done and name these things and tell me the doubts related to this, so that I can make a video on for a Friday video which you can get the doubt clearing session. Okay students, thank you, have a nice day.